What's good? How's everybody doing out there? This is your boy, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett podcast. We're going to keep it moving, keep it banging them out week to week with new podcasts. I was trying to come up with a topic today to talk about, and while I was at the burger joint waiting, I met an elder black lady, and she said something to me, and I was like, you know what, this is what I'm going to talk about today. But before I do, let's get a word from one of our sponsors.
That dizzle ain't no joke, got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some smoke? Cause it's up, I be dizzled up. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gon' lie, I cannot get enough. When Callie said I need another one, gon' have you coming back for more. But go get it while it's hot, before it be sold out in your stores. That dizzle.
I love that beat every time I hear it. Do you dizzle? Yes, I dizzle. Dizzle Premium Luxury Liqueur, mixture of agave, tequila, cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. If you want to order your very own bottle or bottles of Dizzle brand Premium Luxury Liqueur, go to dizzlebrand.com, click on our locations, click on one of the top 3 website links, and you go order your very own bottle or bottles, 21 and older. Shipping and handling is included. And below those links, you can see stores where Dizzle Brand is located at in California, Kansas, Oklahoma, coming soon to a state, city, in a town near you. All right. So I was at the burger joint, local burger joint. And, you know, they opened up at 11 o'clock. I was out there like 4 or 5 minutes before they opened. So I wait outside. Wait for them to open. By the way, it's called Robertson's up the street here on Bragg Boulevard, Utah Shopping Center. Do recommend them. $5 burger and fries, decent sized burger, and good amount of fries for $5. Can't beat it. So I was talking to this lady out there. She was out there with her grandson. I figured it was a grandson, and her grandson was, was kind of being rude, talking back to her. I was like, "That's your grandson?" She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I would never talk to my grandmother like that when I was young. And then, we got to talking. And I don't know what was said before she said she brought up voting for Biden. I don't think anything was said about like inflation or anything. But she just came out of the blue and said something about she voted for Biden and she regretted it. And then she said that if Trump would have run again, she would vote for him. And, I was like, yeah, I agree. Biden has done an awful job. He's done a terrible job. I can't think of one thing he's done right. I can't think of one thing that he's really done right. So, and I asked her, like, what was your pushing point for that? And I guess it has a lot to do with the economy. She didn't get into all the specifics, but it seemed like the economy is like the number one thing because she's older, she's retired, her paycheck ain't going up, but rent goes up, food costs go up. I just went to go get a juice at the grocery store today. They were $1.76 last week, they're $1.86, but they can't keep going up 10 cents every single week. It can't go up 10 cents every single week. Food can't go up every single month, man, because if it does, we're going to have problems here. Gas prices, if they go up any higher, we could be screwed. And the fact that they're holding steady, we don't even need them really to hold steady. So, we got to talk a little bit further. And, and I asked her, has she always voted Democrat? And I don't remember if she said yes or no, but I also asked her, I never understood why so many black people were Democrats. And the reason being is because Confederates were Democrats. All Confederates were Democrats. And I've always wondered, where did this shift come in history where the Republicans freed the slaves and Democrats didn't want to free the slaves, but all of a sudden, all these black people vote Democrat now. And from what I've seen, it came about during the civil rights movement. Now, from what I'm gathering, and my common sense analogy puts two and two together, gets four. What I think happened is Democrats got credit for the civil rights movement when it would have passed no matter who was in office. Civil rights movement, civil rights was long overdue. You know, around when Martin and Malcolm were out there, and was it Reverend Clayton Powell, which is on the all three of those are talked about on the Godfather of Harlem. And the Godfather of Harlem has a lot of, you know, they got a lot of Malcolm in there, and they do references. Reverend Clayton Powell, a character in there played by Giancarlo. So yeah, I was like wondering, like, when did this shift come about? If the Republicans freed the slaves and Democrats didn't want slaves free, when did the shift come about that all these black people became Democrats? And it was the civil rights. So they totally forgot the history before that. And it seems like that Democrats use that as a political tool to make it seem like they were less Confederates. They were less racist. You know, I would argue Democrats are the most racist political party over the Republicans. And you know, you got what Joe Biden's wife just came out and made a statement recently about comparing Hispanic people to saying they're as unique as breakfast tacos. Like, you know, people don't like these stereotypes of, you know, it'd be like saying an Italian is unique as Stromboli's or something, you know, just something that Italian food. Like, they don't like when you make these stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we gotta when we think of Hispanics, you gotta think of tacos. That's what you gotta think of, a taco. Stop it. I mean, I love tacos. Don't get me wrong, I love tacos. But, you know, when I think of Hispanics, the first thing I don't think of isn't tacos. You know, the Joe Biden says if you don't vote for him, you're not black, and all these black people still go vote for him. Go figure. You know, that was racist. And then you got a lot of Democrats saying that, like, all white people are oppressors and all Republicans are racist, all Donald Trump voters are racist. You know, that's mathematically impossible, right? Duh. Now, y'all didn't know that, did you? It's mathematically impossible for every single Donald Trump voter to be racist or a white supremacist or to hate black people. It's mathematically impossible because the human minds are just so different. That's the thing. We're so different, not even just from race to race. Within the races, we're so different. There's black people that listen to heavy metal. There's white people that only listen to hip hop. You know, there's just so many differences across the board. So many differences that it's mathematically impossible for you to take a whole, you know, take 1,000 people and they all are exactly alike. Because that's what you're saying. When you say all white people are racist or oppressors, you're saying they're all exactly alike. I don't know too many people think like me. I don't know too many, like, my friend circle is so small because I can only have people that think similar to me, and mainly think similar to me in the aspect of I get up every day and my goal is to get money. That's my goal every single day, Monday through Sunday, not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. No, Monday through Sunday, from the time I'm up to the time I'm going to sleep, my goal is to get money. you know, and I advertise my business enough to the aspect of getting money. So yeah, the lady, you know, me and the lady are talking, man, and I was just, it really shocked me that she came out the blue and said these things. And I know there's a lot more black people that's thinking that, and a lot more people in general that's thinking that they regret voting for Biden. And I even asked her, I was like, do you think people just looked at the fact that Trump's an asshole and not the fact that was he doing a good job or not? She's like, yes, she agrees. So we need to overlook a politician being an asshole if he's going to do the good job, if he's actually going to do a good job, do the things he said he's going to do. And I would argue that Trump definitely like stuck to his guns of what he said he was going to do more than Biden. Biden just said he was going to do this, that, and the third. And I mean, the only thing I think Biden might have stuck his guns on is the Keystone Pipeline, which that was a total fuck up. That was the first that was the first decision he made in office. That was the first bad one, because if we had the Keystone Pipeline right now, we wouldn't have this problem with inflation and oil prices. He gave away 5 million barrels of oil recently. The Afghan pulled out. He fucked up. Sticking your nose into the Ukraine and Russian war and sending them money, he's fucked up, because now he's made us complicit to the war. And what else is he fucked up on? He said he was going to unite the country. All he's done is divide the country more and more, you know, by accusing parents for being domestic terrorists because they don't want you to indoctrinate their kids with shit that's they don't agree with. That's imaginary, bogus bullshit anyways, like transgenderism and all that shit, and the non-binary bullshit. It's fairy tales, you know. Then you got the parents being upset because some teachers are going rogue on the CRT or CTR. Oh no, my bad. CRT, critical race theory, which a lot of people say critical race theory is just a history lesson. No, it's not. It's a lie lesson. It says that all white people are born oppressors and they oppressed all people of color, even if you're like 4 or 5 years old and don't even know what the hell racism and oppression is, or race or color or anything, you know. It says that, you know, it says all white people are racist, you know. They're born with white privilege. That's bullshit. I built my business by myself. Nobody helped me build my business. Not nobody white, not nobody black, not nobody brown, purple, green, orange, yellow, LGBT, or whatever it is. Non-binary, transgender. Nobody helped me build my business. So, and my father committed suicide when I was 5 years old. Apartment burnt down a week before Christmas. That doesn't sound like fucking white privilege to me. That sounds like somebody who had the odds against him and still came out on top. Why? Because of ambition, determination, and hard work. Ambition, determination, and hard work. So I was really glad that I met this lady at the burger joint today. She was real nice lady. I think if she would agree with me on a lot of things, you know, because even me saying something about I can't understand why black people are Democrats, some black people might get offensive to that, you know. And I just told her, like, because, you know, Confederates were Democrats. Like, all Confederates were Democrats. I repeat, Confederates were Democrats. Slave owners were Democrats. So, yeah, you know, and that's the thing. Lately, I've always been sitting there thinking, like, where the hell did this division come from where black people said we're not going to vote Republican no more, even though Republicans spilled tons of blood to fight against slavery. And I would argue that anybody that says that all white people owe reparations. I would argue that there's plenty white people whose ancestors paid in blood. They paid in blood. They died on the battlefield. And, you know, if you paid in blood, you paid your reparations as far as I'm concerned, you know, because somebody dying is, you know, far worse than somebody not having the 40 acres and a mule. I mean, there was one of those battles where there was like what was it, like 30,000 soldiers died in one of those battles? Maybe I could be wrong. Could have been like 60,000. I just know that it was more soldiers died in one of those battles than there was soldiers for the whole Revolutionary War. You know? So there was a lot of soldiers and and I don't know if my ancestors personally paid in blood, but there's a lot of people's ancestors that personally paid in blood. You know, their ancestors died on the battlefield fighting for, you know, against slavery and freedom, and the Confederates were Democrats. And let's also not forget that the Queen of England was playing both sides of the fence. Queen of England didn't necessarily want slavery to end because they wanted a cotton. But she played both sides of the fence because that's how people like them do. Because they got to make sure they cover both of their tracks just in case one side beats the other. You know, they act like they're friends with both sides, and neither side knew that. You know, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting that she said that out the blue. You know, she just came out the blue with it, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, so you basically, okay. I was like, so she came out of the blue and was like, yeah, Biden, I would never vote for him again. I voted for Biden, and you know, I totally regret it. I'm like, well, I didn't vote for Biden because I knew he was going to do a terrible job, and he did a terrible, awful job. And of course, I didn't vote for Trump either, but I would have never voted for Biden. I don't know that Trump needed to be back in. I don't know that Trump needs to be back in office, because I know that if he does get back in president, that those people on the far left are going to go batshit crazy, and there's going to be a lot of Democrats that go batshit crazy, and democracy is under attack, which is then they're going to once again be saying, oh, he's going to stay in a presidential office forever when he can't. He can only do one more term, you know. And for people that say that there was no elections being rigged or anything of that nature, I would argue that that's bullshit or horseshit. When information was suppressed, like the Joe Biden son's laptop, the Hunter Biden laptop information suppressed, which is now out there. And clearly I seen the video of him the other day, like weighing out meth. You know, I mean, damn, we ain't got no video of Don Jr. weighing out meth. And then there's the video of Trump clearly stating everything, predicted everything that Biden was going to fuck up on and screw up on. And it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. You can look it up. Joe Rogan podcast clearly shows Trump stating every single thing what Biden was going to fuck up on. And I swear to the God I don't even believe in, that everything that Trump named, Biden clearly dropped the ball on and fucked up on. You know, because I've said this, like, the only thing Democrats got going for them on their side is taking away guns and gun control and abortions. They're losing on anything dealing with the economy and inflation. They're losing on illegal immigration. Some people like to say immigration. Nobody's got a problem with legal immigration. Nobody has a problem. Anybody who says that Republicans got a problem with legal immigration is bullshit. And there's some people out there that do got a problem with people coming to this country. But I think they got more of a problem with the people that come in illegally and get work under the table and don't pay taxes, per se, to somebody who came in legally, you know, pays taxes. And I know there is people that don't like nobody coming in from other countries. And those are just blatant, ignorant ass racist people. You know, and I'm pretty sure that there's whites and blacks that don't like probably Hispanics coming in and taking jobs. There's whites and blacks that probably bitch and complain about it. But I don't really, I don't agree with illegal immigration, but the only reason I don't totally go in on these Hispanics coming over here legally that actually coming over here to work, not the ones that are like narco criminals or sex traffickers or whatever, but ones that come over here to work, is because they're willing to work harder than most Americans. They're willing to work jobs that most Americans take for granted. They're willing to work for less. They're willing to do more for less, man. And I respect anybody that's willing to work hard. I respect the hard-working man more than anything in life. The hard-working man. Like and the second, the honest man, the honest, hardworking man. You got to kind of throw that in together too. The honest, hardworking man. That's what I respect. So yeah, I just thought it was very interesting. It made me think like how many black people are starting to think like her, and the fact that she just came out and said that Trump would run again, I would vote for him. I wouldn't vote for Trump. I would vote for DeSantis. I said I would vote for Kristi Noem. I would vote for Dan Crenshaw. From what I've heard of Dan Crenshaw, I definitely would vote for Denzel Washington if he ran for president. Because that's who as a white man, I follow Denzel Washington's lead on race relations and racism in America. I'm following Denzel's lead as a white man. That's whose lead I'm following, Denzel. If this is whatever Denzel says out of his mouth is the race relations in America and what racism is in America, that's the lead I'm following. And according to Denzel, America is not as racist as we used to be. A lot of this is just people playing the victim and not realizing this starts in the family. And another thing I was talking to the lady about, because she was with her grandson, and he was being kind of disrespectful to her, and I was like, "Yo, man, why you talking to your grandma like that?" You know what I'm saying? And don't be talking to your grandma like that, because she just asked him, like, "Do you want a hot dog or hammer?" He's like, "I don't want this, I don't want that." And I'm like, "Yo, man, don't talk to your grandma like that, dude." I didn't talk to my grandma until I became an adult, and then it's a whole different story. But yeah, so I was like, I asked her, did he have a father figure in the household? She said he has a father, but he's elsewhere. He lives like in like Winston-Salem or something. Like, well, that's not good, because then it's gonna come time where he's gonna go try to find a father on the streets, like I did. I was hanging out with older knuckleheads, getting in trouble. They were doing B&Es and talking me into doing B&Es, and I followed their lead and their greed. I followed their lead and their greed, and I made some dumb mistakes at age 14 and 15 that I was lucky to get a slap on the wrist of. And that's the thing. People can sit there and be like, "Oh, it was white privilege because I got a slap on the wrist." Well, bullshit, because the guys that I was with didn't get slaps on the wrist. You know why they didn't get slaps on the wrist? Because one of them was a repeat felon, and both of them were like 24, 25 years old, and I was like 14 or 15 years old, maybe 16 at the most. So they were both like 10 years older than me. I was a juvenile. They were adults. So I think common sense came into play that they knew I was following the lead of one of those other guys. They knew I wasn't the leader of this band. The 16-year-old isn't the leader of the band with two 25-year-olds in it. They knew that. They knew the leader of the band was one of the 25-year-olds. I was just, I wasn't a leader of the band. I was just a co-singer, contributor to the band, basically. But yeah, a lot of it starts with the father figure not being in the household. That's when I started getting in trouble, because I had no father figure. What got me out of trouble was fear of not wanting to get locked up, because I didn't learn the first time and almost did it again and almost got busted again and got away, luckily, on some movie time. I mean, like, The whole way, the last time when we almost got busted, it was literally like a movie script. The whole thing was like a movie script, the way it went down and how we got out of that situation and made it back without getting locked up. And after that, fear came in, and I was like, yeah, man, it's not worth it. And now problem is I don't really fear nothing. Now it's at a point of it's just stupid to go to prison. It's just like, why would I jeopardize everything I worked hard for at this point to go to prison? But yeah, I just thought it was so interesting that this lady told me she just came out of blue. I regret voting for Biden. I would vote for Trump. She just strongly believed with me that Biden had done a shitty, awful, terrible of a job. It's clearly the worst job in my lifetime that I can remember any president doing. Far worse than Bush's, and even though I said I should have voted for Clinton, thank God I didn't, because Clinton was part of, making these laws worse of locking people up. Only person I ever voted for was Barack Obama, but I'm not a Democrat. And Barack Obama was definitely one of the biggest puppets I would argue Barack Obama was the puppet that they used to bring in this transgender stuff, the CR, all this craziness that's going on with the far left. This started on Barack Obama's second term. And so he was a cover-up. There was a lot of white people. My mom only voted one time in her life. She voted for Barack Obama. So, Barack definitely, he said all the right things. But that's the thing. Joe Biden, even if he was doing as shitty as a job he is, he's not no Barack Obama when it comes to talking. He can't, that's the thing. He does a shitty job speaking, and he does a shitty job, period, At least do a good job at something. And then he hires, the press secretary they hire is at least Jen Psaki was good at lying. She was good at her job. She lied all the time. That's all a press secretary does. They lie. They get paid to lie. But at least she was good at it. This new chick, all she is a cute face, because she's not good at lying. She's not good at lying at all. She's a terrible liar. She's a terrible press secretary. But that's what inclusion gets you. Because even with inclusion, you still gotta hire the best. Or if you're gonna hire a worker only based on skin color, well, you still gotta hire the best worker of this based on skin color. You still gotta hire the harder worker, the better worker, the honest worker, the person's not gonna call in all the time, the person's not gonna steal the job, cheat the job. You still gotta do that. Even if you're gonna go for inclusion, you still gotta hire the best. And they never do. That's the thing. Because when it comes to inclusion, they just want to make it a color balance. They want to make it a rainbow. They want all colors. They want all colors to be presentable, to be able to see. But are they the best of each color? You still got to hire the best workers in the workplace. What did Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg just recently came out and said he's going to make it harder for people so they will quit. Meaning he's going to require higher standards, more expectations. And if you're not going to meet these expectations, these standards, then you might as well quit and find somewhere else to go, because you're not fit for this job. He's gonna, and some people will say, well, that's illegal. You can't do that. Yes, he fucking can. If he wants to raise the fucking standards and expectations of his fucking business, because people are slacking off on the job anyways and they're too worried about being fucking political activists on the job and shit. No, nobody pays you. If I hire you a promo palace, I'm not paying you to be no fucking political activist. You believe that political activist shit at my job, you get fired quick like in a hurry, because we don't take political stances at Promo Palace LLC. Now, Paul Pickett podcast is a whole different story. It's a podcast. We're talking about content. We're reacting, and we're reacting political content, a lot of sports and music content, which is the sports. Everything is sports now is politicized. The Brittany Griner thing is politicized, you know. And that's another thing, man. Like, Democrats always pull the race card with everything. I was just so amazed that this lady today, I mean, she was just, let me stop. I'm not amazed. It was shocking to me, though, because she just came out the blue with it. And I was just like, huh? You know, and it's like nowadays, you know, you come out and say you support Trump, you never know what kind of backlash you get. You know, that's the thing. She didn't know if I was a far left Democrat. And they'd be like, what? You support Trump? Oh, I could have been like, what if you support that white supremacist racist motherfucker like people on the left do? She don't know, you know, but I, like, soon as she came, I was like, whoa, like, oh shit. This lady, like, did she just say what I said? She think she said? And she made a strong point of it, you know, and I'm totally with her, man, you know. And to be honest with you, I wish I would have swapped numbers with the lady and, you know, like, include her into the friendship circle, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I was very honored to meet the lady. I felt like while I was sitting there eating a burger, I was like, you know what? I'll wait for my burger. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out a topic to talk about on my podcast when I get home. Like, this is what I'm going to talk about. This lady at the burger joint that just says, you know, I voted for Biden. I regret it. If Trump comes out and runs again, I'll vote for him. Because she clearly sees, she's putting 2 to 2 together. She's getting 4, like anybody else with common sense. She's putting her common sense glasses on, her common sense view, and her common knowledge, and she's looking at the job that Biden's done, and she sees this guy has not done one thing right. He's not done one thing that benefits us. Everything he's doing is hurting us more than it's helping us. And I would argue, like, okay, Democrats got, the only thing I think Democrats really got on their side is abortion. You know why? Because they can't go so far with guns. Once you try to take away the guns, all you're asking and all you're saying is you want an all-out civil war. That's all you're saying. Once you try to take away the guns, you will get an all-out civil war. Mark my words. I promise you that. I promise you that. Abortion, that ain't really going to cause a civil war. We're not going to get a civil war of abortion. It's not happening, you know. But you take away the guns, it will. So all they really got on their side is abortion. And I don't know if that's a big enough issue. And I don't know that I want Trump to be back in office because just of how much the media is just going to be bitching about Trump being in office again and flipping out, going crazy, and democracy is under attack. And they're going to go back. I tell you what, they will go batshit crazy if Trump is back in office. And if Trump gets back, if Trump runs again, and this is the thing, I would argue the only reason Biden was elected is because there was a lot of people that voted against Trump just because they wanted Trump out. Not necessarily because they wanted Biden in, just because they just wanted Trump out badly. They didn't care for freaking who was running for office. They would have pretty much probably, I mean, I would argue if Kamala would have got the nod, there might have been enough people voting against Trump to vote her in, which that would have been even worse. That would have been even worse. They would have, and that's the thing. What I'm seeing now is it's so many people are going to regret voting for Biden that they're just going to vote his ass out one way or another. There's just so many. I mean, even AOC's like, we don't know. We'll see when the time comes if Biden gets the nod. So that clearly shows you that Democrats, there's a lot of Democrats in there that are behind closed curtains plotting to try to make sure somebody else runs for president on the Democratic ticket and not Biden. Because I think they clearly know that if Biden runs again, that no matter who runs against him, they're getting the presidential nod. They're getting the presidential nod. And if they actually do a far better job than what Biden did, they're going to keep that shit. I promise you that. But I'm telling you, come election time, if the gas prices don't go down within the next 6 months, I promise you that people will have their mind made up that they're voting Biden out. And if they got to deal with Trump's, mouth and slick talk, they'll deal with Trump's mouth and slick talk. And that's the thing. I think, it goes back to what I always say. I think people are looking at this shit the wrong way when they look at Trump. I always said I'd rather be an honest asshole than a dishonest nice guy. And that's what I think that people are looking at here with this Trump shit. Not that he's so honest, but it's kind of like my analogy of the honest asshole and the dishonest nice guy. I don't want to be a dishonest nice guy. If I have to be, and that's the thing, just because somebody's nice doesn't mean that they don't lie. It doesn't mean that they're honest. And nice guys, man, they do finish last in the business world. I'm sorry. Nice guys finish last in the business world, man. You got to have some kind of, killer mentality. You got to, I would argue, a cat like Mr. Beast is a nice guy with a killer business mentality. If that makes any sense. He's a nice guy, but he's got a killer business mentality. Trust me, he has an asshole deep down inside of him. And the more he makes money, and if somebody starts screwing up at the business, one of his employees just starts screwing up totally something that he's built so big, oh yeah, you'll see the asshole come out. You'll see the asshole come out. When somebody start trying to ruin your business or sabotage your business, you'll see the asshole come out. I mean, Elon Musk is I would say he's like that same thing. He's like the honest asshole, dishonest nice guy. I think he would rather be an honest asshole than a dishonest nice guy. And he takes shots at people all the time, And I think at this point, man, social media is really came to the point where if you have a problem with people taking shots at you, then don't be on social media. I take shots at people taking shots at me. You just gotta fire back. You gotta fire back. But I was really, really intrigued after the conversation I had today with the lady I met in front of the burger joint. Just the way she just blatantly came out of nowhere and just, said she regret voting for Biden and will vote for Trump again. And I was just like, wow. It's like she knew I was going to agree with her or something, man. When I said something, when I, asked her about was that her grandson and said something about I wouldn't talk to my grandmother like that when I was his age and this, that, and the third. Because nothing we said before she said something about Biden had anything to do with, politics or anything of that nature. then she just brought it up, and then I was just like, whoa, she took it there. So I was like, all right, well, let's go down this rabbit hole a little further, and let's see where your views lie at. And I was just like, yeah, definitely could have had her on the podcast. She would agree with a lot of what I said, and I agreed with pretty much everything she was saying. And she's definitely made a point of that. If Trump runs next time, she's vote for him, because he did a better job than Biden did. So what if he's an asshole? He's a prick. Does he do a good job? You know? Does he do a good job? That's the thing. The best workers at a job place ain't always going to be the nicest person. Sometimes the hardest worker might be the asshole. It might be the guy that just doesn't tolerate the bullshit. Me. Never tolerated bullshit in any job I ever worked. And I was always the highest paid employee because I was the hardest working employee. Nobody could outwork me at any job that I worked. I broke my femur, 5 screws in my foot, dislocated my shoulder, and I would argue I could go to any one of the jobs that I used to work back in the days and outwork every last one of them motherfuckers right now. Right now. How do I know that? Because I was working the day after I had surgery. The motherfuckers wouldn't do that shit. Nobody would do that shit. You know, but yeah. So we're about 42 minutes in. I've been babbling about this because I don't know, man. It just made my day meeting that lady. Like, wow, like she gave me a good topic to talk about. I know exactly how I'm going to title this one. And yeah, so I'm going to get to another word from one of our sponsors, and we'll call it an episode.
Are you a musician looking for music marketing and promotion? Then look no further than Promo Palace LLC, your one-stop shop for all music promotion services. Services include Spotify playlist pitching, YouTube video promotion, record pool promotion, blog placements, radio airplay promotion, SoundCloud promotion, and much more. With over 2,000 customers and over 10 years of experience in online promotion, Promo Palace LLC is a company you can trust. For more info, please go to promopalace.biz. See you there.
That's right. Get marketing promotions for promopalace.biz. You heard the lady. Pretty much one-stop shop for everything. Don't forget the audio version of this podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and much more. Also, the video version to go to YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, and I was uploading Instagram, but Instagram ain't been letting me upload my videos of late. I don't know that I've been blocked or banned from uploading videos or whatnot, but I know the videos of, they're as long as they're under an hour long, you can upload a video typically, but they haven't let me upload it, so I'm gonna try again today. So, also be checking out on Instagram as well. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. One and only Paul Pickett, aka Triple P. Paul Pickett Podcast, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Peace, and I'm out.